Welcome back for another shot of Shari. Today we are back on relationships. There's a topic that keeps coming up with my clients, and I keep having the same conversation over and over again. So I know this is a hot topic for people, and I wanted to bring it to you guys today. There is something that happens in our minds as human beings that makes us carry old hurts from old relationships. Now, the relationships can cross over because it can be a familiar relationship that you got hurt in or you felt vulnerable in, and then you carry that pain over to your partnership. Or something happened in your work relationship and it makes you feel very shameful and vulnerable to open up to a new intimate relationship. All relationships cross over because at the end of the day, it's people dealing with people. But what we do is we take our experiences that we've had and we superimpose them on the present moment. So you could be tootling along fine and then something gets triggered in you, and when it gets triggered, it almost becomes a filter on top of the person that you're speaking to. So let's say you have a fight with your partner and they say something to you that makes you remember an old relationship, or something that a parent used to say that hurt you, or a boss used to say that made you feel small. Then suddenly you're no longer in that current conversation, in that current disagreement, or trying to help someone understand how to see your point of view. You're immediately in the flashback. And in that flashback, you become who you were at that time. Now, most of us like to grow as we go along in this life thing, and we don't realize that the things that we carry are going to trip us up in future relationships. Most of us think, it's an old relationship. It's an old thing that happened. I was really young. It didn't really matter to me. I'm not that person anymore. And while that may be very true, you do still carry the footprint and imprint of what that relationship brought into your life, both positive and negative. So if we don't highlight and take a look for ourselves at the things that trigger us and trip us up, then we can't stop ourselves from repeating them in new relationships. That doesn't mean to walk around with a clipboard all the time and say, this is going to trigger me, or if they say this, that I'm going to do this. But to notice that when things do come up, learn to decipher, am I currently in this moment being in this conversation, or is this a ghost of past? Is this a ghost of my previous relationship superimposing on my current conversation? Because it sounds like a small thing to notice, but what it does is it changes the trajectory of a conversation. You can be very present and make new choices. You can stand up for yourself and decide what you want now, different than what you had in the past, but only if you first recognize where those old things are coming from, or notice that you're repeating a habit and pattern with another person right in that moment when it happens, so that you can stop yourself and say, that was my old reaction. What do I want going forward, and how can I accomplish that? That slow down factor, that realization of, is this a ghost or is this current moment, helps you to be able to not only heal old stuff, but move forward in your current relationships in a different way than you have been in the past. I hope this was helpful. I know that it's been valuable for a lot of people in my one-on-one conversations. So I want you to really start to take a look at this. Like, where are those old conversations, even phraseology you may use over and over again, not realizing how powerful your language is, to say, do I want to keep living this story over and over again with every new person or in every new experience? The answer is probably no. So here's where you can help yourself in stopping that runaway train. I will see you again tomorrow.